Hey, we're live. Welcome, Scott. How you doing, man?
Doing well, and you?
Good. We're just waiting on Kevin to get in here and start the Kickstarter off. So we thought we'd be on
Yeah.
at 7. So I figured, well, might as well launch, and I'll sit here and drink a little whiskey and chat with
We'll get-
everybody and see what's going on. I did share a link though, so you can actually go on and follow the Kickstarter. And as soon as Kevin gets it started, you will get notification it's launched. Oh, hey, it's launched. There it goes.
It's launched.
And there he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. I see you
He's
In the nick of
fashionably
time.
late.
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool.
Fantastic. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Excited
good.
to have this one launched. What is this now? Our 13th? Is this our lucky 13?
I think it is.
I don't know. I've lost track.
Here, I've got it. I'll look at my. I had the number listed in my previous Kickstarter, which is all fulfilled. Crimson Shadows number 4. All rewards have been shipped. So if you're a backer of that, you should be receiving it within the next week or so.
Fantastic.
So
Wonderful.
another 100% of our Kickstarters have been fully funded and delivered on time as promised.
All right.
So you know you can trust this one that Kevin has just launched.
Yep.
Let's see.
Excellent.
12. This is our 13th.
Excellent.
Well, all right.
Ooh, how appropriate too. What an appropriate number.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah. Very nice. So I got to start because I wasn't sure what time you guys were going to join, but hey, we're already up to $126. So
We are.
Excellent.
yep.
I
Let me
haven't
get that shared
donated
real
yet.
quick. Hey, I'll get that pulled up real quick here. There we go. Right there.
Excellent.
Shaboom. So,
Yeah, we this is going to be a short Kickstarter. It's only a 15 days. I wanted to make it short and sweet. I think that's a perfect time frame,
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Kickstarter.
Very
Yep.
good.
And hey, James, it's our super backer James supports us in all the Kickstarters. Good to see you, James. We get to see James
Hey.
hopefully in just under 2 months in Indiana.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. So, and hopefully by then we may even have the books physically there.
Yeah, I actually have the proof copies already.
Oh, well, hold on a minute. Let's get you in the solo
know,
left. There
right?
we go.
Yeah, so definitely worked ahead in this one. So I wanted to make sure everything looked perfect. So both the hardcover and the soft cover looks great. Super happy with it. So everything's
Very nice.
done. Absolutely 100% done. So the only thing that would be left to do at the end of the Kickstarter are the commissions or any of the artwork, which still won't take that long.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Looks great. I love the cover you did for those.
Yeah, I mean this the soft cover with that great Dave Wagner Cthulhu, just an amazing artist.
Here, hold that up again.
Dave, yeah. So Dave is an old friend of mine. Used to come to the Fort Wayne Comic Con and run around with a bunch of the artists from Fort Wayne. And then he got really big and did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and now he works for Marvel. So he's a great guy. It couldn't happen to a better guy. Amazing artwork. So super happy for that. And then the hardcover has this wonderful Headless Horseman by good old Scott.
Nice.
And both covers, obviously the tribute to the old EC comics that I grew up loving. So just a lot of fun. Just a great book, good size, 100 pages, a little over 100 pages. 10 artists, including an artist from France that Scott and I met when we did the Comic-Con a couple years ago, Clara
Great.
Bassard.
Sarah.
Yeah. Wonderful artist. She's super nice. And then a couple of our friends, including our partner in crime, Sean Forney, who's contributed to both Crimson Shadows and Poe Macabre Master. Jay Fife, who's contributed. And then Eric Hodson, a good friend of ours. Of course, Brett and Scott. Our good friend Ashley Popwell, who lives out in Las Vegas. And for local artist Tim Barron from Fort Wayne, who actually now is working doing a lot of skateboard designs, including for Tony Hawk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he does great stuff, and he works for Super 7, does a lot of the card design for the reaction figures.
They got a lot of cool
Sweet.
stuff coming out. I've been seeing
Mm.
they dropped a new Dungeons and Dragons where they're taking the original covers and making figures
Yes.
for them, and the artwork behind it looks really cool too. So
Yeah, it's they're doing a great job with that. So yeah, it's a great collection of artists with their own takes on the creatures, creatures that everyone knows. But that's really not the focus. The focus is on the creators. Everyone knows Frankenstein and Dracula, but not many people know much about Mary Shelley or Bram Stoker, or even Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft for that matter. You know, it's a great way to introduce people to these authors with portraits that I did all the portraits for each of the creators, and it has a nice biography of just their life. In researching this, I learned so much more about these creators I didn't know, how they interacted. I mean, the majority of these creators were alive in overlapping times or very close to it. So it's amazing how much of the culture and the what we consider to be great literature really came out in a short period of time. When in comparison, it's pretty amazing to see. You know, Poe pretty much life ended. H.P. Lovecraft almost immediately afterwards. Dickens and Mary Shelley and um, Irving Washington, all at the same time frame, and kind of interacted in the same circles, along with Oscar Wilde with Bram Stoker and their little feud that happened, which put Oscar Wilde in prison for many years. So, but yeah, it's a wonderful book to learn a little bit more about the creators and just amazing artwork. That if you're a fan of any of these macabre creatures, you're gonna absolutely love this book.
fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. So we've got different pledges available. I like you get the artwork that flips through here.
Yeah, that was when I finally figured out how to do that in high res. That was nice. Took a while, but yeah, it looks great. It takes up less room on the Kickstarter.
Yeah. Now there's a good image of the that's the soft cover, correct?
Yep, that's a soft cover.
Yep.
So that's an unlimited. So that will be the standard soft cover.
I love how that looks.
I know it. Yeah, it looks you know, it doesn't do it justice until you get it in your hands. It is a fantastic looking book.
And of course, then we have the hardcover.
Yep, the hardcover will only have 50 printed. So every hardcover numbered to 50, and every single one of them will have a signed with sketched book plate. So that's an example of what that book plate will look like, with a hand-drawn sketch by myself and at least my signature. And if we reach some of the rewards or the stretch goals, it'll have at least 3 signatures. So every hardcover will have a sketch in it, limited and numbered to only 50. So that'll be it. I'll never print that again. You only can get it there. Once the 50 are gone, that's it.
I did my homework at Great Lakes Comic-Con and got all my book plates signed.
I got them in my boxes somewhere, so I'll be pulling them out so I have them ready for you.
I felt like I was back in school writing like sentences.
Yeah, I've been doing those sketches like with all my travels for my day job. Like I've been in the airport, on a plane, just doodling.
You got a lot done.
Yeah, those. You know, once you like, oh crap, there's 50 of them, and you do at least 60 because you know you're going to screw something up. You know, one of us is going to sign or screw something up. You know.
I think we did all right. I think I missed one. Scott caught it, so he gave it to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I had a lot of you learn a couple new what you can do as a quick sketch. So I came up with a couple new Cthulhu's I could do that I think are really fun, kind of playful. And I think there's an example, and you can see the Kickstarter. So I think it's a great ad. It's a very unique. It'll make it a more of a personal book, and again, limited to only 50. So grab them while you can.
Yeah. Jacob Bear wants to know what's going on. Hey.
A fellow creator there. He does a lot of Kickstarters as well.
Yes.
He puts out some great work as well. But yeah, we're on our 13th Kickstarter for Bardstone. This is so the other 12 all successfully funded and done on time and delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what else we got here. So we've got all the contributing artists. Here's the creators that are covered. We'll get that later. Let's talk about rewards. There we go.
Yeah. So the paperback, every book will come signed by myself. Just $20 for the paperback.
Do you know how many pages the book is?
It's a little over 100. I want to say it ended up at
So-
105 or something like that total.
Yeah, so $20 for 105 pages. That's great.
Yeah, 8x10 book, so it's a little oversized book. I wanted something a little bit bigger for the so I could really make the images pop.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then there's the paperback cover and sketch.
Yep. So this is one of the I consider an early bird. Only doing 10 of them. So you get the paperback and a 4x6 sketch, and you got 4 options. So I got either a Poe portrait, an H.P. Lovecraft portrait, Grim Reaper, Cthulhu, and there's Lovecraft. So something similar to that. I figured I'd make it somewhat easy, but get everybody a choice. But 4x6 hand-drawn sketch card by myself, and the paperback for only $30.
Jacob is asking if it's an art book. Would you consider this an art book? Do
You know,
how many illustrations are in it?
It's probably I have it somewhere in there. I think 55 illustrations,
Okay.
55 or 60 illustrations total,
By
counting
a
the
variety
portraits.
of artists.
Yeah. So and then I would
And then
say
the biographies.
yeah, and then the biographies. So if I had to categorize it as something, I probably would call it an art book. But I think it's a little bit more than that. I wanted to. I didn't want to just do an art book. I wanted to give people a reason to pick it up and to learn a little bit about each of the creators.
Yeah, and that's what really makes this different. We're especially with comic book conventions, we're used to so many of these creatures being in all kinds of fan fiction or amazing products like Bardstone's Crimson Shadows or other things. But we don't often hear about the creators and their stories. So
Right.
I like that you put a little focus on them so we can learn who they are.
Yeah, it's doing the portraits was kind of fun for all of them, and it's just kind of a labor of love for me. It's the stuff I absolutely love reading and what I grew up on. So, and many people enjoy the same things, and it just felt right with the combination of the other stuff that I've been doing, and it all fits into the horror genre that I love. So, I know there's as many people out there that feel the same way I do, and I just think it's a great way to present a lot of artwork, but also give the people something a little bit different than just your average art book.
Oh, fantastic. So now you also have the exclusive hardcover. Like you said, that's limited to 50.
Only
And-
50. All of them come with a sketch book plate, and they're only $40 each. So it's a great deal. I don't think I'll have a whole lot of them left at the end of it, but if I do, I'll take them to the Comic Cons. And I had a few of the Poes left from the last Kickstarter, and they went pretty fast.
Yeah, it's just a couple shows. I think they were gone. So
Yeah.
Talking about going fast, you should check our current total.
Okay, let me.
Nice.
Element. Hey, 489.
Yeah, you're doing good.
We're almost at
Yeah.
halfway already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's help out people get some else. So besides the hardcover, you can actually do the hardcover and paperback set.
Yep. So that's another what I would consider an early bird. You get both books for only $50. So so instead of 40 and 20, you're getting a $10 savings by getting both books. Again, a great deal.
And limited to 10. So there's only
Yeah,
10
I'm
of those
only going to do
available.
10 of those. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the hardcovers with the different rewards, I only can offer so many in each of the different packages.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then you have a retailer package. I think this is a great job for the retailer package. This is a really good deal for that.
Yeah. We have a couple of stores that have been great to us with our past Kickstarters. So hopefully this is a good deal that allows them to pick up multiple books and still have enough to be able to mark the book back up and make a profit for themselves. But also it's a good way for us to get our books out into different areas and to spread the word of Bardstone and just it's great to try to support the smaller comic shops that we are going to cater to instead of going through like a Diamond or the big distributors.
Yep. Very cool. And then and there's only 2 of those, so only 2 retailers can get that.
Right. Right.
Now, of course, I'm sure if somebody wanted it, they wouldn't be able to get the hardcover, but the soft cover would be available. I'm sure if you got a hold of Kevin for a retailer package.
Yeah, we could come up with something if someone just wanted a bunch of soft covers.
Yep. And then, of course, there's art commission. You can get any one
Yep.
character of your choice. As you can see, there's Wolverine there, so it doesn't have to be a Creatures and Creator that you're doing. You're
Right.
only doing 2 of those.
Yeah, some fun people ask for commissions, and I don't do a lot when I'm at shows. So these are some of the few times I actually do commissions, especially detailed ones. So a couple offered there, and you're still going to get a copy of the book. That's really what I ultimately want, is everyone to actually get a copy of the book and enjoy it. But you get some art and also get the book.
Excellent. And then there's original art, Frankenstein original art.
Yep, one of the illustrations in the book that's done by myself. And you also, again, get a copy of the book for $100.
Yeah.
That's our Crimson Shadows Frankenstein.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And then there's the Dickens original art set.
Yeah. So the portrait of Dickens and good old Scrooge there with Ghost of Christmas Future from the book. 2 of my favorite illustrations. One of my favorite stories of all time is A Christmas Carol. So some fun artwork, and again, 2 pieces from the book for $125.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
And then
That's
there's H.G. Wells.
Yep, and the fun Invisible Man. Again, I love doing the portraits of the creature. I'm sorry, of the creators. It was a lot of fun.
And then
I love
Dave
that.
Walker's.
Yeah,
That's
Dave
amazing.
Walker. Yeah, his Frankenstein original. Again, the copies don't do it justice. Here is the Frankenstein original from Dave that is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, in person, if anyone knows his artwork with all the ink wash and the white and the gray tones that he gets, it's just absolutely gorgeous. 9x12 on a thick cardstock watercolor paper, signed by Dave at the bottom and dated. Let's see that.
I have to say, Kevin's a huge
you go.
collector of art. I'm surprised he's letting this one go.
Well, it's kind of tough. If not, it's going to get framed on my wall. But
Yeah,
I'll try.
I can see that up behind you up there.
Yeah.
If you can see up on the wall, if you can see, he did a Vincent Price for me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, he as a very, very big favor to me. He sent that to me a couple years ago, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm getting ready to get that framed because I was able to come across an actual Vincent Price autograph. So I'm going to send that off to get framed with
Nice.
an autograph. Yeah. So
Very
but
cool.
Dave's amazing artist, wonderful guy, and again, I'm super happy to have him contributing to the book.
Nice. And then there's an 11x17 commission, so a larger size commission available.
It's getting huge.
It's getting huge.
And then you also have Dave's Cthulhu.
Yeah, and so this is the cover artwork used in the book and inside the book. And again, this does not do it justice. You have to see this in person. It is an amazing, amazing piece of artwork.
Just what we can see online here. It's just gorgeous.
So are these things you commissioned them a while ago for, or did?
Yeah. So when I first released the book 5 years ago, and it really, to be completely honest, was before I knew what the hell I was doing. So,
right.
I wanted to go back and print it a little bit better, update the artwork, and so back in 2017 or 2018 when it got released. When I did the book, I commissioned Dave to do some artwork for the book, and he was happily obliged.
Nice.
I got the scans and everything for the artwork, but I didn't get the original artwork until
I remember that. That's right.
Because at that time he just got the gig for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Right.
for his 20 issue run all the way to issue 100. So he got super busy and he felt bad, so hence the Vincent Price that he more than made up for any delay.
So what you're saying is his prices are going to be a lot higher now if we try to get them for a
I would I have no idea what he would charge, but
oh man, 250. I would say 250 is a steal at this point. That's a drop in the bucket for what you're going to have to pay down right now, especially if you go into Turtles is still very hot, as well as working on higher quality, higher dollar books too. So
yeah, he just finished an X-Men arc, and he's getting ready to do a Spider-Man book. So he's Yeah, he's getting the high end stuff. But his best stuff, he did a mini series of Aliens, an alien story. Amazing, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, his
That's
artwork
beautiful.
is amazing, fantastic. Someone will be very lucky to get their hands on this, and if not, it's going to get framed on the wall behind me here after the Kickstarter.
Never be sold again.
Knowing Kevin, he's probably hoping no one buys it because he wants it for his wall.
You know, I'm offering it because I know I am a huge, horror fan. I'm not a huge Lovecraft fan, but this is this is just an amazing piece of artwork that is one of those things, whether you're a huge fan of Cthulhu or not, it's just badass. So I'd love to have it in my collection, but I think there's someone out there that's just a huge Cthulhu fan that would literally die to have this. It's that good of a piece of artwork.
Nice. So then we have the add-ons. This is a great way to actually get prints of that artwork.
Yep. So there's a 5x7 mini prints, which, by the way, all those are also done. Every single thing is done for this Kickstarter. So I got the 5x7 prints in the color. For the kit, you can add that on for $5. And then you have all the Poe pins from my Poe Macabre pin series.
Mm-hmm.
We have all the Crimson Shadows pins from Scott's Crimson Shadow series. Yeah. The first 3 issues of Crimson Shadows you can get a hold of for $30, all with my cover. The Poe Macabre Master trade. So it's the first 3 issues of the Poe with an extra story for $20 if you missed that. And also the option to add on the trade or a hardcover to any of the rewards. But I will warn you, I think there's only probably 5 of the hardcovers that you can add on, again, because there's only 50 total available.
That was my question. I was wondering how many you could add on. So 50, so 5 of the 50 could be added on. So if you did a couple different things, that's great. That's great if you're doing the artwork or commission and you still want a hardcover with your soft cover.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So
I just posted the link again. If you aren't going to be backing it yet, you still go to the link because you can follow the campaign so that you can find it later.
Absolutely.
So click on the link and at least follow the campaign so you can stay up to date.
Absolutely.
And we got a $70 Poe sketch cover. So issue
that you can add on. I think I have 2 of those available.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, these are not reprints. These are actually still part of that first run of Poe. So
it's first print, hand drawn. A couple of the graded comics, a couple of the Poes, and a couple of the Crimson Shadows.
Nice. Just hold on one moment. Go back to the Poe. Just to explain, for people who don't understand what sketch covers are, that it's not just a hand-drawn piece. It is a one-of-one. That is the original art on the cover. So when a lot of times at Comic-Cons, people can be confused by what a sketch cover is. When we get these printed, the cover is printed on a special stock that is good for pen and ink and markers. And we have just the logos printed. And so that is a hand-drawn picture done by Kevin right on the cover. No other one like this exists.
And that one's done in pen and ink wash, actually. So I've learned if I can slow myself down, which I don't like to do when I'm doing the ink wash, it does work very well for that sketch cover. Printed by Ready Comics for the stand is absolutely amazing. So it's
excellent. So then we got the graded comics, as we mentioned.
Yep.
And then
we should point out too with those Poe comics, we are at like critically low volumes. So
I have 2 sets of one of the issues of 1, 2, and 3 together. I have a couple issue 3s. That's it.
Yeah.
So
and I think I only have like 1 issue 1 and like I don't have many. I'm really low.
Yeah, we're getting very low on the individual issues, and then all we'll have available is the trade.
Yep. And then we got the stretch goals. So if we hit 50 backers.
Yep, 5x7, fun print of the Frankenstein image.
I love that.
Yeah, this one's kind of done up more like an old school movie poster, which I thought was a little fun.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. If we get to 50 backers as a stretch goal, every book will come signed with a book plate with 3 signatures. Paperback, hardback, every book will come with 3 signatures. Nice. I wanted to really give someone, I mean, that I want to reach 50 backers. I want to reach 100 backers. And I wanted to give someone, I think, something that anyone that's buying these books is going to find as a value. And adding a signed book plate by 3 artists, I think that's a great value.
Nice.
And then we have the $2,500 stretch goal. That's
yeah, $2,500. Yeah, everyone will get the Cthulhu print that you can also add on. But if we reach 2,500, everyone gets one for free.
Nice. And then the surprise goals as we start hitting the 100 backers.
Yeah,
we've passed the halfway mark.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we are. Let me pull that up there since we're at the end there. So we're over 600, 654, 10 backers.
Nice.
So we need 15 more backers for the first, or is it 50, 25 backers, right?
No,
50 backers.
50.
Yep.
So we need 40 more backers to hit that one stretch goal, but we only need a little over $1,100 for the also the first stretch goal there is. So
yeah, and the initial goal I set pretty low at 1,200. So I'm hoping we can hit that pretty quick and then start working at the stretch goals.
Definitely.
Nice. And also, if you're watching, if you're not following the campaign, and later on you're trying to remember, if you can't remember creatures and creators, and I'm going to add this real quick, go to bardstone.com. That's easy to remember, bardstone.com, and we do have all the links. So you just scroll right here, click that, and it will open up. It'll take you to the campaign directly. So if you can't remember the name, go to Bardstone.
All right, I got to scroll it on the bottom too.
Excellent.
So,
nice. So, kind of cover the Kickstarter and everything else. So, I don't really want to cover some of the people that are involved with it.
I mentioned everyone pretty quickly, but as far as the creators, there's a few there that people I don't think know anything about. Not a lot of people know anything about Frank L. Baum.
Now, I heard something very interesting about him today. There was an article I saw online, and he's just somewhere in Michigan for like over 10 years. And that's where he got a lot of inspiration for Wizard of Oz. Holland, there was a place there that was the inspiration for the castle.
Yeah.
And then up in Traverse City, they were building basically an asylum up there. And he would see them laying out all the yellow bricks there for the side of the building. And it was like a path. That's where he got the idea for the Yellow Brick Road. Yeah.
He had a very interesting life. In some ways, he wasn't a great. He wasn't a fan of the Native American, but his whimsical stories and how well that went on after he was gone. There's 13 Wizard of Oz books. He wrote, I believe, I might be wrong, 8 of them. So there's much more than what anybody knows about, or even I knew about. And then his wife and family continued on afterwards. So Lewis Carroll,
huge moneymaker for them, and they were before they started getting published, he was definitely not. They were not in the best financial state. So
right, yeah, he the Wizard of Oz was a moderate hit as a book. Honestly, it did well. He was able to make a living on it, but he wasn't wealthy by any means.
No.
Lewis Carroll, a lot of people know, obviously, Alice in Wonderland. Dickens, probably one of the more famous. A lot of stories. Of course, this one, Christmas Carol, is really where I go. But Oliver Twist is one of the great literary tales. Victor Hugo is the new creator added to the book that was not in the book from the first release 5 years ago. So obviously, Victor Hugo's most known piece of work is Les Mis, but he also did The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So one of my favorites, one of the original horror movies, and probably one of the greatest silent movies ever made. Washington Irving, of course, Headless Horseman and Rip Van Winkle. H.P. Lovecraft, everyone knows the Twisted Beyond stories of H.P. Lovecraft, Other Dimensions, Cthulhu, of course. Edgar Allan Poe, one of my personal favorites, is probably the most represented in the book by design. Mary Shelley, again, Frankenstein, her one one story. I mean, when she was 17 years old. Absolutely amazing. But Mary Shelley, not a very good person at all. At all, at all. So very interesting life. Had a lot of troubles, but wrote one of the most prolific characters of all time. And
there's a good movie called Haunted Summer from 1988, and if you could find it
yes,
to watch, it really tells the story of that summer where she came up with the idea for Frankenstein and all the drugs they were doing. 'Cause
mhm.
it was Shelley and Byron were there. It was near Lake Geneva, so it's an interesting story. I remember seeing it after about 89 or 90, and I was surprised at the story really because nobody ever talks about that. And it
Right.
does star Bill from Bill and Ted. Alex
Oh,
Winter.
right.
Alex
You're right.
Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's actually a really good movie. It's one of those ones that I've not seen available anywhere. So, if you get a chance to watch it, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
So, then you also
Right now,
Stevens.
I'm watching one on Freevee. So it's free. The something about the amazing life of Victor Frankenstein or something, and it's about the creation of the Frankenstein story.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Mary Shelley and stuff. And so I'm watching that one now, about halfway through. But that one's been good as well.
Yeah, anything like I really, if I find a documentary or anything like that, I get pretty enthralled.
Even for
You know,
Crimson Shadows, how we tie in historical fiction
yes,
into it,
yeah,
researching the whole thing. It's amazing that time period. I mean, part of it was, you know, it was the year without a summer. There was a massive volcano eruption the year before, halfway around the world, and it blocked out the sun. There was actually snow and blizzards like in June and in Europe, and nobody could really go out. So it was this bleak depression type mood going through the area where everyone just felt, and back then it's not like they had weather forecasts. No one knew why summer disappeared,
right, yeah,
So you got a lot of this dark writing that came out of that time period. And then you couple that with advancements in printing that made the printing process easier to mass produce. And you kind of had this collision of things that happened that created this burst of books that came out that, a couple hundred years later, we still know these stories and characters.
Yeah. Well, just prior to Frankenstein and all these books coming out, it was, if you look back at just in U.S. history during the Revolutionary War, you had, because the printing press, you had Ben Franklin was publishing all his books and his journals, and the newspaper printing had gotten really huge then. I mean, that's how
right,
some of the people who did a lot of stuff. You go back up here to Charles Dickens; he was releasing stuff as serial stories in
right,
newspapers. So
right,
and of course, literacy rates were starting to increase at that time too.
right. Yeah, and Edgar Allan Poe was, that's how most of his stories were released. Robert Louis Stevenson,
Dr.
sorry,
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but also Treasure Island. A lot of people forget that. Bram Stoker, of course, Dracula, a couple other really good stories, but Dracula by far. And probably one of my favorite stories. I just love how it's written and with the letters, and it really is a different way that he presented that story in a way that makes it much more creepy. And probably one of my favorite adaptions of any of all time is Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, 1991. I still think one of the best, or 92, whenever it came out. That's one of my absolute favorite adaptions of any of these creatures.
Well, and to tie it back to Mary Shelley, that weekend with Mary Shelley, where she invented Frankenstein, that was the first vampire story came out of that weekend as well. Which then later on, Bram Stoker did the Dracula, which is a different story. But that was the very first vampire story that came out of that weekend. It's amazing what came out of this time period.
Right. Yeah. H.G. Wells, obviously, just tons of wonderful stories. The Time Machine, probably one of the most,
War of the Worlds.
obviously. So
Yeah.
just a lot of great, stories, many more than I remembered when I started reading his list. I'm like, a lot of short stories that have been redone or retold in many ways, many ways. You've probably seen at least 10 to a dozen of his stories adapted if you've ever watched Twilight Zones or The Outer Limits and old sci-fi movies or
Yeah,
radio
he
series.
really revolutionized sci-fi as we know it. He's kind of brought a lot of that to the world, and as well as kind of launched what became steampunk.
Yes, yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize
Yeah,
that's
and-
where it derives from.
And probably one of my favorite creators that honestly, because I wasn't thinking, I was only thinking literary, but Twilight Zone is one of my absolute favorite things. Rod Serling. I remember growing up watching those reruns, and it scared the living hell out of me. I mean, what you come up with in your mind of what the creature, whatever is going to go, whatever the alien is so much worse than they ever had to show you. They didn't have to show you it.
Yeah.
And at the end of most of the stories, the creature or the evil or the absolute horror is just human beings and just how crappy we are as a race, And I loved how he would mix the sci-fi, and there'd be a lot of those stories, but 50 to 60% of all those stories were just basically commentary on what was going on in the country that he hid within this sci-fi show or writing, or it was just basically blatantly in your face, and he didn't care. And I love that when you watch those episodes, you realize in the 50s and 60s when that was coming out, you're like, how did he get away with that? And because we see right through it now, I'm like, this is obviously a play on racism, or this is obviously class society. He's attacking this, and it kind of went through because people wrote it off because he's telling it through the eyes of a waitress and there's an alien, but it's really a story on class. So, but any of these stories that you can put yourself into and you can learn a little bit and hopefully take what they were trying to tell you, even though these stories were written 150 years ago, you can really relate what's in these stories and what these creators were coming up with it to now. I mean, Frankenstein and the story behind that, if you actually read the book, still has a lot of value as far as an eye-opening experience.
How relevant is it to today where we have AI now coming into the picture for real? I mean, that was like the first AI story in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fear of what you can create, and what happens when it has a mind of its own.
Unfortunately, I think we lost the fear. Now we're creating Skynet.
Yeah, exactly. Because you
build
can't
the
put
ultimate robot warrior body and give it its own mind. What could go wrong?
Yeah, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, right?
No,
that's pretty much. Yeah.
James commented here. Richard Matheson is another great writer, and by the way, Rod Serling helped write Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Planet of the Apes' original novelization was originally a French novel.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
Yes. So much different than the interpretation we've seen since. I've never read it, or the English translations even. But it's my understanding it's almost a completely different novel compared to the movies. They really did a lot of changes and stuff like that to make it a movie. But
I feel like we've come up with enough names to do a volume 2 now.
Probably.
Wow. Yeah, you could focus on
Stephen King. You could them. You could do it by era actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The trick to all that is the copyright law. So
yeah.
So kids from getting sued helps.
Stefan Majesty instead of Stephen King, and we'll have to change the names.
Right. Yeah, but doing well. So 10 backers.
Yeah.
So somebody grabbed a couple of the big rewards.
Yeah,
they had to have. So
Let's see. We got 3 backers at the $40 pledge. That's the one I did, the hardcover. Let's see. I'm trying to find which one did where's the big one?
I did the 50 with the hard and soft. By the way, Kevin, I
Okay.
was drinking that Christmas gift you gave me. It was good.
Good, isn't it?
I just cracked it open. I said, I'm gonna have a glass. I'm gonna be savoring that. That was very good.
Mm-hmm. So dangerously smooth.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna be drinking much of that.
Yeah.
I even planned on that. If I needed another drink, which I don't think I do, I had brought my Woodford back.
So I'm thinking some people did the add-ons.
Oh, fantastic! That's
Yep.
good.
So it looks like a lot of add-ons might be getting purchased, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Like we said, a lot of those are in limited supply too. So check it out.
Yeah.
14
Nobody's
days ago.
grabbed.
This is a short one. Don't wait 3 weeks. You'll miss it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the beauty of it is it's all done. So it really once the Kickstarter is done, and Kevin can just get everything book ordered and done. And for what's your delivery window on this? I didn't look at that.
I believe I have. I want to say May for everything, just to make sure if there's any, delays or coronavirus, Cthulhu nightmare happen.
So we gotta put Justin Timberlake into the mix here. It's gonna be May.
Yeah. And I think for anything that was a commission, I put June just to be safe. I imagine it will be sooner, but again, with my schedule at the drop of a hat, I can be gone for a good portion of the time. So
yeah,
I know you're like missing. We're gonna put you on milk cartons.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm gonna do my. What was it? Right before COVID, I was traveling for like a week and a half straight. I came home for like 3 days, and I remember being in the Atlanta airport, going on the tram, getting all the way to one end, getting off, and be like, "Damn it, I'm not going home. I gotta go to Orlando," and had to get back on and go to the other side because I thought I was going home. I'm like, "Damn it, I don't get to go home." It was just a connecting flight to go to Florida from like Texas, and I'm like, it's bad when you forget where you're going when you're in the airport.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, become like the old Dunkin' Donuts commercial with the guy, got to make the donuts. He runs into himself going, "I made the donuts."
Right. Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, I wanted to make sure everything was as done as it possibly could be. So time frame, this should be pretty easy, pretty quick. That's the only reason I made it a shorter Kickstarter. 2 solid weeks, really make a go of it, and be able to finish it up before I take a mini vacation and my travel really starts crazy. So, and then con season starts for me, but it's few and far between this year. I'm gonna take it a little easier and hit a few of the big ones in the cities I really want to go to, and that's it. I'm going to be a little selective this year and see how things go.
Yeah, like Scott mentioned earlier, you can actually follow, but also don't forget to click share for Facebook. You got Twitter here. You can mail out to your friends. There's an embed link here, so you can link it onto your different social medias to share it out. Sharing helps. So even if you're not backing it, but you like the project, share it because you never know. Somebody may see that like, oh, this looks really cool.
Plus, when you click embed, it gives you a short link instead of the long link. So it can fit in any post easy, very easy to cut and paste it into anything.
Yeah, that's like in the credits here that or comments that Scott did. That's the shorter link there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so cool. Great start here. $654.
Yeah. Hopefully by morning we're saying we met the goal.
Yeah,
I hope so. Yeah.
I've also got my I'm going to attempt I have a TikTok that I have like 16,000 followers, so I'm able to do live streams. So I think I'm going to do a couple live sessions tonight too, just telling people about it. So we'll see if we can get some people from there over here.
Yeah, I need to have my kids do that because I don't understand that shit at all. So, so yeah.
Yeah, do it before the government bans it,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for helping me launch this, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it as always.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for your contribution to the book. You're both featured in the book also. So,
Fantastic.
and I thank you to everyone that's already pledged, and please keep sharing.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and run this video, and then we'll go ahead and end this Kickstarter launch. But definitely, we'll be talking about it on Odd Musings tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So join us
10 a.m.
then. All
Cheers.
right.
Thanks.
So